Good morning. Day 5 is the new day 7. And not only that, but since I bought this mirror, I've really been overdoing the mirror shots. So it is my plan today to literally treat today as if it were day 7. I've got nothing in my schedule, so I've got no excuse to just crack on and get as much done as I possibly can. So I'm thinking I'm going to do the drums, I'm thinking I'm going to work on the string arranging, I'm thinking I'm going to start practicing the song in the background as well. First things first, let's make a cup of tea. So the first thing that I'm going to do is record a guide vocal track. So I'm literally just going to plug in an SM58, I'm going to sing through what I've got, I'm going to sing la to the things that I'm not so sure about, just to mark out where the melody's going to be in the mix. I think that's going to make playing the bass easier, I think it's going to make playing the drums easier, just knowing what is occupied. And hopefully after that I can start the string arranging as well. So even if I do slightly change the vocal melody, it's better to have it down at this point in some capacity. I'll be totally honest with you, after recording that guide vocal, I am so unbelievably excited about this song now. It's just giving me an idea of where it's heading, and some of the later sections just don't have any bass on it. It's literally just my guitar and my voice, and I can feel it coming together really nicely. And now I've just got to decide what to do next. So I was walking through Doncaster Town Centre the other day, and I noticed a little shop was using one of those Cinema Light boxes to write like random words on it about what was on sale and things like that. So I thought, you know what? I'll get one myself. Now, I've no idea what I'm actually going to put on it, but it seems like a nice thing to put in the studio. I think I'm going to have it over there somewhere. So hopefully I'll be able to spell out some cool things with the words I've included. Otherwise, can you order more letters for these things, or? I have literally no idea. It's actually pretty awesome. I've got the letters out the back and I'm just working out what I can actually spell. So, more on that story later. All right. It's time for the bass guitar. So the plan is to just get the headphones on and get zoned in. I have actually been working on this bass line over the last couple of days, but I'm going to play it through a few times with the vocals on now and see if it works. I think the tricky thing at this point is deciding where the fills go, because obviously I don't want every instrument to do a fill at the same time. So maybe what I'll do is I'll keep the bass quite simple, keep it functional, and then leave the fills to the other instruments. Because I'll be honest, about 20 minutes ago I sat down at the piano and just played along, and it feels really good to improvise over, so maybe I'll do all that kind of stuff on there. But yes, it's bass guitar time. Bass guitar, done. That was a lot simpler than I thought it would be, and it was all because I've been practicing it over the last couple of days. I'm really happy with it, so I guess it's time for a bit of a break. So I just went out to get some milk, surprise, surprise. No short film this time though, sadly. However, if you do want to see the sequel to my short film Milk that I made with Tim last weekend, you can watch it here, or here. I still don't know which way it is. But while I was out driving, I actually had a lyric idea, so as soon as I've got back in, I've written it down, and I think I'm going to be very close to actually finishing those little gaps in the lyrics that are missing. So isn't that exciting? It just seems to be going really well for me today, actually. So I'm back in the studio, and I'm going to try something a little bit different. So let me show you what's going on. So my plan is to not use a full drum kit. I was watching a video the other day of how John Mayer made New Light, and he was talking about the fact that when they track the drums, they just track the overheads. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit here and play a ride cymbal, a hi-hat, and this tambourine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to track it in stereo. So the tambourine is right in the middle, and the ride cymbal and the hi-hat are out on the sides. So then what I can do is put in the drum samples of the snare that I showed you earlier on in the week. And hopefully, as I mentioned before, I should be able to use the bass guitar as the bass drum. So, let's see what happens. So that has worked surprisingly well, actually. I've just programmed in all the snare sounds that I designed the other day, and it works. I really don't know at this point whether I'm actually going to use a bass drum. I feel like I need a little bit more time playing around with the bass guitar to know whether it's going to work. But in the meantime, I'm kind of adopting a mix as I go along kind of mentality, because I feel like it's going to save me time towards the end and it'll allow me to experiment a little bit more. So at this point, I should probably start looking at the string arranging. What are you doing? Doesn't look like you're having a productive day. I heard you barking in the garden earlier, and now you're just having a rest, so you can do some more barking later on. Is that right? Not a productive pupper. So obviously yesterday I opened up about the amount of chocolate that I ate while I watched that episode of Making a Murderer, but what I didn't reveal is that I also ate most of this tin of the IKEA biscuits. That was pretty full yesterday before I started watching it. Just so nice, you know? Right, it's time to get some strings on it then, I guess. Don't really know how I'm going to do it. I feel like maybe I should start by just sitting down and playing something on the keyboard, see what works, come up with a couple of counter melodies, and then I'll work out whether I'm going to get Sibelius out or whether really there's any point in doing that. I feel like I've actually been feeling my way through the track a bit more, so rather than relying on my theory knowledge to get me through this, I'm just going to sit and play and see what I can come up with. So, in an interesting turn of events, I've actually tried the strings and it doesn't really work in the same way. I'm not enjoying the track anywhere near as much as I was when the strings weren't actually on it. So, I'm going to keep them there and the work that I've done, but I think what I'll probably do is work some of those melodies into the piano part that I play. It actually sounds better as a stripped down track. And you know me, I like to massively overproduce things. And I think it's certainly heading that way. I think the production will sound more modern as I get more into it, but I feel like I'm actually probably going to leave the song there for today and have a bit of a break this evening, just because I've made so much progress today, but I need to think about where I'm going next, and only a good night's sleep will do that. It's been such an exciting day and I've got so much done. It's probably because I haven't watched any Making a Murderer yet today. I could do that now, actually. See you tomorrow.